Disappointed with my first video on Euthenics, so I'm going to do a new video dealing with a better, more clear explanation of what Euthenics is. So Eugenics is the breeding of people with trait selection similar to that of breeding animals. Actually, the same as breeding animals, as people are animals. Okay, the second thing is Euthenics, which is the study of how environmental change causes performance enhancement in organisms. Okay, the problem with Euthenics, though, is it's a little bit touchy-feely, like most things in the social positivist school. Now, the next one is Euphenics. Euphenics is the practice of anything that alters the phenotype after birth. So things like genetic engineering would be, or genetic manipulation after birth, as we're seeing with CRISPR, would be a example of Euphenics, as would bodybuilding would be an example of Euphenics, as would basically any euthenic thing that altered the phenotype, meaning made bigger muscles or better IQ, things of that nature. Okay, so now we know what eugenics, euthenics, and euphenics are. But what you have to understand is these are all connected under third positionism. Third positionism seeks eugenics to make a better and stronger class of people, a better, stronger species, if you will. And euthenics seeks to take what the eugenics has worked with and make that even better. And then euphenics is the result. The resulting factor would be the change in the phenotype. So why is this important to me? Well, the reason it's important to me is there's too much argument in, well, I wouldn't call myself a white nationalist, but I would say the third positionist community of what's more important, nature or nurture. Now, nature, a lot of people do assume that nature is more important, and nature is important. But environment is almost equally important. You can take an extremely gifted individual and get a crappy result if they have not been exposed to the proper stimuli to stimulate the proper neuro network, the creation of the proper neural networks, the creation of the proper phenotypic development. You know, that you can't take a perfectly genetically pure being and have it in a very non-stimulatory environment and hope for a result which is positive. You will have an atrophied organism in that situation. And that's, I think, what you see a lot with a lot of the nerd people, is these geeky people. The problem is they might have a high IQ, but they are not pushed into disciplines such as martial arts or weightlifting or other physical endeavors that develop the phenotype. And what we know is a lot of things that enhance intelligence after birth are things like physical exercise and proper nutrition. The use of studying and IQ puzzles and all this does not seem to have much effect on boosting the IQ. Much of the boosting of the IQ has to do with breathing, aerobic activity and meditation, breathing exercises such as the relaxation response and good aerobic activity. Things that stimulate the motor cortex, such as balancing exercises like Tai Chi and gymnastics, and weightlifting, and things that improve the motor, the stimulatory motor sensors in the body. What connects the body to the mind seems to be what enhances the IQ the most after the fact. But now we are getting to a realm where genetic engineering is taking hold, and you will see euthenics become the eugenics of the future, and it will all be euphenics in the long run.